The year's 2011. And I've been doing music since 1997 and officially recording since like 2004. And I thought it was time. It was during the blog era. Everybody was blowing up online. And so I thought that I could blow up online too. I just had to be dedicated. So I decided I was going to start a music series called 28 Days Later. Hashtag 28 Days Later, because I was turning 28 in 2011. And I was just going to release music on a consistent basis and then promote the hell out of it online. And eventually, people were going to start listening. I just knew it. Now, at that time, I had two things I had to do. I had a job at the shoe department, so I had to go to the shoe department and work. And my other job was I was in school again to finish my degree that I started 10 years earlier. Well, in order for me to focus solely on music, something had to change. It wasn't going to be the shoe department because I had to pay rent. And instead of me being like, maybe I should do the smart decision and just withdraw from school and then just work and do music and just be like, hey, I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do, and just push forward that way. I decided I just was going to stop going to classes and not withdraw from school. So that was what the beginning of 2011 looked like for me. And so I started doing music. I mean, I made songs like Passion, Tarantula, This Ain't About You. I was arguably making some of the best music of my life. Some of that music is actually available on streaming right now, if you're interested. I was making music videos by myself. I made one for Passion. Very, very rough. Made a couple of attempts at Tarantula. Both of those are safely on my external hard drive. But the thing was, I was doing it. I was making music. I was constantly pushing links. SoundCloud, Bandcamp, instant download, YouTube. There was so many ways to hear my music, and it was 3 times a day. It was in the morning when I got up. It was on my lunch break. It was at night. So I was just constantly hitting links. So I just knew it was only a matter of time before I blew up. It can't be that hard, right? I'm dope enough, right? That's what I kept telling myself. Here's where it all went sideways, though. So yeah, I'm supposed to be blowing up online, making the best music of my life. I was getting a little traction, but nothing significant. But because I was recording the best music of my life, and also because I was doing nothing except going to my job and then doing music and promoting that music, I really thought I was somebody. It all went straight to my head. Every bit of it went straight to my head. So I'm walking around like, I'm the nicest thing out, man. Like, tunnel vision that I was about to blow up. That I was this close to finally doing my debut album. This close to finally reaching my dreams that I've had since I was 10 years old, of being a recording artist, a music artist, whatever you want to call it. Which is great. Sorry, I just want to test it. It looked like it was leaning. Which is great. That's wonderful. The whole time, I'm skipping classes. When I could have withdrew from my classes like an adult would have done and had a conversation with a significant other about it, I'm just skipping class. And my grades are zeros. But I didn't care. I was the nicest rapper out, right? What's the big deal? Any day now, I'm going to get picked up by the right blog and someone's going to start paying attention and start paying me to perform. Any day now. I even went so far where I cut ties with E, who I've known since 2005. Known E since 2005, been friends since 2005. In 2007, I joined his record label, Sound Vision Recordings, as an artist, which is something I've wanted to do since I met him. So I was very proud to be there. But I felt that I never got the respect that I would deserve for me. I wanted to put out the albums. I wanted to put out the mixtapes. I wanted to shoot the videos. But it felt like I was never getting that opportunity. Now, to clarify, I can't tell you how many times Eric Jordan came to me and said, I want to do your album. I want to do your project. We need to lock in on some beats. We need to come up with some concepts. We need to do some photo shoots. This man constantly was trying to push me in that direction. But as much as I thought I wouldn't get any support from Sound Vision and from E, I never fully bought into Sound Vision, like ever. I did because it was cool to be a part of one of the best record labels in the state at the time, one of the best collectives. But I just wanted E to do what I wanted. I wanted to sit here and make mixtapes. I wanted E to be like, that shit's dope, let's put it out. Let's do this, let's do that, let's book you some shows. I wanted all that for me. But so many times, he would be like, yo, go in the studio tonight. Oh, I can't do it. Can't do it, not up for it. Blah, 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 blah. I'd always have an excuse. I do a studio sometimes. Like when Golden Blue got recorded. And I'm pretty sure I named Golden Blue. Maybe. Corey probably could clear that up if he was here. But I never wanted it like that. And I had so many opportunities. But I got so big-headed in 2011 that I was like, whatever. I don't need E. I don't need Sound Vision. So I left them. He was like very respectful about it because I wasn't rude. But I was just like, yo, I'm going to go my own direction. This man even sent the West Virginia hip hop blog, Live from the Dub. He sent a press release saying that I was no longer with Sound Vision and he wished me all the best. That's how much he cared because he didn't owe me nothing. Nothing. But he respected me enough as an artist and as a friend to do that for me. So I'm out here on my own now. Hell yeah. I started my own thing called the Hyphen Conglomerate, THC. Everything's going great, right? We're doing more songs. I'm hitting local shows, making connections with artists. I just know it won't be that long until I blow up. But little did I know, it was all about to blow up in my face. Because my girlfriend found out I wasn't going to class, that I had zeros, that every day I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to class. Going to class. I'd go right to the radio station, U92, and sit on the computers. I'd take my laptop and go to the library, sit on there, be on the internet all day. I'd go to work because I had to pay rent. I knew that, but the whole time I'm lying about going to class. And finally it came out. And rightfully, she threw me out the house. Name's on the lease, but she didn't want me in the house no more, and I respected her wishes. So I went and crashed with my boy Anthony. All summer long. And at first I was like, oh, this is just a temporary thing. We'll work it out, blah, 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 blah. You know, you could only sleep on the couch for so long before reality sets in. So, I decided I was going to take the music I had gathered up so far. I was going to take that music. Hello, people. I was going to take that music, gather it up. Let me walk over here, make sure that they're not coming over here. Cool, they're going over there. I was going to take all my music that was part of the 28 Days Later, take my music that was part of the 28 Years Later series. I was going to release one final project, and officially, B-Hyphen was done. Because I had lost the most important thing in my life. Due to the fact that I was so selfish and I didn't communicate to her, hey, I'd really like to take a shot at this music. I'd really like to withdraw from school so I can do that if you're willing to, if you're okay with that. I couldn't have an adult conversation. I was 20 years old. So the Hyphen conglomerate became a music promotion company for like 4 seconds. And I gathered up all my music and I made a black cover. I slapped red lettering on it and called it Spideyville Unlimited. And up until that point in my career, Spideyville Unlimited was the best project of my entire career. But it just felt empty. I had all these great rhymes, all these great beats I rapped over, all this progress. You could tell the growth from the last project, which was in 2007 at that point. How much I had learned, how much I had grown, and how much better I had become. And I just dropped it. And then the plan was to walk away. I think I dropped it in like July 7th. Maybe not July 7th, but sometime in July of 2011. And I was like, I'm done. But, and you'll learn this as we continue to do these videos, there was always a spark. And that spark came in the form of my friend Thak. Because he was living with his girlfriend at the time, and I believe Hazy was living with him at the time too. And they were just recording all the time over there, and they're like, yo, Hyphen, what you doing? I'm gonna come through, lay some vocals. I was like, nah. You know, I'm like, I'm going through it. Like, yo, just come on, just come through, just come kick it. And me and Thak ended up recording a record. It was over the Usher Nicki Minaj record, I want to say. It had the Stevie Wonder sample. And we named the song If Tomorrow. And the day I recorded that song, someone who knew about what I had done and was so disgusted by what I had done with not going to school and lying and just not being an adult. Someone was so disgusted with me, they said that they didn't want to ever hear my music because of how it made me act. And so I went into that song with full intentions for that to be the last recorded B Hyphen song. Verse, hook, whatever. This was it. You got the project, and this is my very last song. I'm walking away. Wash my hands of it. But that song really showed me, not only did all that time spent focused on music help, but it made me hungrier to do even more. I was conflicted. I was just so conflicted. I was like, I don't want to rap anymore. It made me a terrible person. But then, as things evolved, me and my girlfriend worked it out. She let me move back in. Started repairing our relationship. I made a list of things that I needed to do as an adult to get my life back on track. And then Otis came out. And if there's anything that anybody knows about me, I cannot leave a good Jay-Z beat alone. So yeah, I did a little something to Otis, you know. And also, that was the start of my CM Punk fandom. That was the summer of the Pipe Bomb. The second summer of Punk. So CM Punk, Georgia Funk became what it was. And then Lil Wayne dropped that one song on the Carter 4. Can't remember what it is. But then Shiv is like, yeah, I'd really like to hear you do some bars over this. And I was like, I don't really know. And I took that beat and I vomited all over it. And I don't mean in a bad way. I mean that I literally was so honest about how terrible of a person I'd become because of everything I'd gone through up to that point on that song. And it was very cathartic. And then headlines came out, and my friend Drew, my coworker at the time, he's like, yo, you should rap over headlines. Say less. My nephew wanted me to rap over Lil Wayne beat. Alright, I'll do that. So I keep getting pushed to do things. And then I rekindled my relationship with E, even though I literally was like, yo, I don't want any more parts of Sound Vision. A few months ago, the moment I got thrown out of my house, he was there for me. Hang out, come kick it, come ride with me, come sit in the studio, listen to this, listen to Breezy's new album, listen to Beans' new album. And he was there for me when I didn't deserve him. I didn't deserve him, and he was there for me. And then as got later in 2011, ideas are forming. I'm sitting on some of this original music. And I'm like, all right, maybe I'm not done. I need to at least release the album. I need to get an album done. I'd done mixtapes for a long time. I need to do an album. And that became the goal as 2011 started to fade into 2012. Well, things happened rather quickly in 2012. Me and that girlfriend, well, we got engaged to be married. We set a wedding date of July 7th. We moved out of our old place into a new place. It was our second place we ever had completely by ourselves. And a few days after we said our vows and hit Jamaica, man, she got pregnant. So now I'm a little ahead of myself, aren't I? Dang, we'll get to that. But as 2011 came into 2012, we found a new place. Our second place we ever had. We found a new place. Our third place we ever had was just us. Because we had other roommates at the last place. Had a big basement. And I knew that I was going to record my album in that basement. And slowly, the seeds of what would become my debut album, and then the fourth mixtape in my Mind's Mixtape series started being planted in that very basement. I got a BlackBerry, had a BlackBerry by then. I was real good with that BlackBerry. Any verses, always on the BlackBerry. Going in the BlackBerry, going in the BlackBerry. I would go into work early because I didn't have a vehicle, so sometimes I would get dropped off at work mad early. And I was a key holder, so I could just walk in, and I would just sit there and walk around the store, make sure things are cleaned up, make sure shoes are straight before the store opened, before the other person who was opening with me got there. Just writing rhymes about how much I hated my job at the shoe store, how much I wanted to be anywhere else, how I had these dreams that were never going to come to fruition. I went down the gamut. But then something happened as 2012 continued. I always go home the first weekend of May for something back home in Winchester, Virginia called the Apple Blossom Festival. And I always requested it off, always got it. Well, I got a new boss a few months prior. And I may have went to WrestleMania 28 with Anthony and Thomas, who were also my coworkers at the time. So all three of us were in Miami all weekend. And then one of the other key holders got a stomach bug, and the store manager had to be there like all weekend because we weren't there. She was so shook by this event that she's like, only one person can be off at a time, which was never a rule before. So I went to request my days off, and she goes, you can't have those. And I'm like, why? I always have that first weekend of May off. Well, your little coworker here, who's barely 18, 17, she already requested it off for prom. So you're going to have to work those days. And I was furious because Apple Blossom was one of the few times that I got to go home and see my mom, go see my family. I was livid. I'm talking to Angel about it. My girlfriend, talking to my girlfriend about it at the time. She's like, you know what? Why don't you just quit? Look for a better job. You've been there long enough. Like, you don't want to do this the rest of your life. I'm like, absolutely not. Just go ahead and quit. You'll find another job. So I worked out the rest of my shift that day. Perfectly fine. Clocked out. Went right up to my boss and was like, hey, I quit. Effective immediately. She's like, oh, you can't do that. No, don't do that. What are you doing? You got to do all these papers. All right. Why are you doing this? Because you didn't give me the weekend off. Well, I'm sure we can work some. Called the regional. And I was like, hey, I'm real sorry to do this. Left them a voicemail. But I quit because I couldn't get that weekend off. Also don't want to do this the rest of my life. You have to understand. Appreciate the opportunity you gave me. Hung up. Walking down the mall to catch the bus. Coworker comes running. Yo, are you really quitting? Are you sure? You sure you're not just mad? Blah, 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 blah. Nah, man. This is it. I'm good. I'm done. Time to go. I got on that bus. I went downtown, and I met up with Anthony and CFX. And we went to work in the Women's Wednesday. And I knew that the only thing I had to do then I had to find a job. And anything else, I could work on making the album. So from the lowest of lows with zero transparency in 2011 to one of the highest of highs with 100% transparency. Just like that.